No signal, no sound, just silence. The ships were huge. Dark shapes covered the sky, blocking the sunlight. People on Earth looked up in fear. Cities stopped. Planes froze in the air. Satellites went quiet. No one understood what was happening. Are they here to attack? One officer asked. No one answered. The alien ships did nothing. They did not fire. They did not move. They only watched. That silence was worse than war. Panic began to spread across Earth. News channels shouted. Governments argued. Military forces prepared weapons. Missiles were ready. Fleets stood by. But still the aliens did nothing. Then the leaders of Earth made a choice. They would not start a war. They would try peace. And for that, they sent one man, Ambassador Elias Varn. Elias was known across Earth. He was calm, wise, and kind. He believed that even enemies could become friends. He had stopped wars before. He had saved millions of lives without firing a single shot. If anyone could talk to the aliens, it was him. Before leaving, Elias stood quietly in the launch bay. Soldiers and officers watched him with respect. "Are you afraid?" a young soldier asked. Elias smiled softly. "Yes," he said, "but peace is always worth the risk." His ship launched toward the alien fleet. As he got closer, the alien ships looked even larger, like giants sleeping in space. No lights, no movement, no welcome, just darkness. Elias's small ship was guided inside the largest alien vessel. The doors closed behind him. He was alone. Inside, everything felt wrong. The walls were not smooth. They looked alive, like they were slowly moving. The air was cold. There was no sound of machines, no voices, only a deep, heavy silence. Strange figures appeared in the distance. The aliens. They were tall and thin. Their bodies were not like humans. Their eyes were dark and empty. They did not speak. They did not greet him. They only watched. Elias took a slow breath. He stepped forward. "I come in peace," he said clearly. No response. He continued walking until he reached a large open chamber. At the center stood their leader. It was bigger than the others. Its presence felt heavy, like it was pressing down on the room. Its eyes locked onto Elias. Cold, empty, like Elias was nothing. Still, Elias was nothing. Still, Elias did not stop. He stood tall. "My name is Elias Varn," he said. "I represent the people of Earth." Silence. "We do not want war," he continued. "We want to understand you. We want to build something better together." The aliens did not move. Elias kept speaking. "We can share knowledge, trade resources, learn from each other. There is no need for violence." For a moment, everything was still. The room was quiet. The aliens did not react. Elias felt hope. Maybe, just maybe, it was working. Then, the alien leader raised one hand. A strange energy formed. Elias did not even have time to react. A flash of light filled the room. And in the next second, Elias was gone. No warning, no words, no reason, just dawn. Back on Earth, the control room froze. His live transmission cut suddenly. The screen turned black. One officer whispered, "What just happened?" No one answered. The room fell into silence. Not fear, not panic, just silence. Not fear, not panic, just silence. Because everyone understood. They had not just lost a man. They had lost their last chance at peace. The aliens had made their choice. And now, Earth would make theirs. Far away, in deep space, a warship floated quietly. Inside, a man stood alone in a dark room. A message played in front of him. The final seconds of Elias's life. Then the screen went black. The man did not move. He did not speak. He only stared. His face showed no emotion. But his eyes, they changed. Slowly. Cold, sharp, dangerous. An officer stepped forward carefully. "Sir," he said quietly, "we have confirmed. The ambassador is dead." Still no reaction. A long silence filled the room. Then the man finally spoke. One sentence. Calm, controlled, heavy. "Prepare the fleet." The officers froze. They knew that voice. They knew what it meant. Because this was not just any man. This was General Kale Varn, the twin brother of Elias. And unlike his brother, Kale did not believe in peace. The warship moved slowly through deep space. No lights, no sound, only silence. Inside, hundreds of soldiers stood ready. They did not talk. They did not laugh. Everyone felt it. Something was coming. Something big. At the center of the ship, General Kale Varn stood in the command room. His face was calm, too calm. A large screen showed the alien fleet near Earth. The same ships. The same silent monsters that had killed his brother. An officer spoke carefully. An officer spoke carefully. Sir, orders? Cale did not answer right away. He watched the screen, every detail, every movement, every weakness. They haven't attacked yet, another officer said. They are just waiting. Cale finally spoke. They are studying us, he said, learning how we think. The room went quiet. Another officer asked, should we send a message? Try to talk again? Cale slowly turned his head. His eyes were cold. No, he said. That one word ended all discussion, because everyone understood. Peace was over. Cale stepped forward. Show me their formations, he ordered. The screen changed. Red markers appeared around the alien ships. Cale studied them like a hunter watching prey. They are strong, one officer said. Stronger than anything we have seen. Cale nodded once. Yes, he said, but they are slow. The officers looked confused. Slow, one asked. They think we will act with emotion, Cale explained. They expect anger, fear, panic. He paused. We will give them none of that. The room became still. Cale pointed at the screen. They stay in fixed positions. They rely on power, not speed. That is their weakness. A young officer stepped forward. Sir, what is the plan? Cale's voice became quiet. Not war, he said. The officers exchanged looks. Not war? Then what? Cale continued. Not yet. A small, cold smile appeared on his face. We will teach them fear first. The room felt colder. Orders began to move across the ship. Signals were sent. Hidden fleets began to wake up. Across human space, warships powered on. Engines lit up. Weapons charged. But there was no panic. No loud commands. Everything was controlled. Precise. Like a machine. Back near Earth, the alien fleet still waited. They believed they had already won. They believed humans were weak. They believed the execution of one man had ended everything. They were wrong. Hours passed. Then, something changed. One of the alien ships suddenly lost power. No explosion. No warning. Just darkness. The alien fleet reacted slowly. Too slowly. Before they could understand what happened, another ship went silent. Then another. Hidden human ships appeared from the shadows of space. Fast, sharp, deadly. They did not attack like normal fleets. They moved like ghosts. Strike. Disappear. Strike again. The aliens tried to respond, but their weapons were too slow. Their systems could not track the human ships. Panic began to spread among them. For the first time, the aliens felt something new. Confusion. Back on Cale's ship, the officers watched in silence. Every move was perfect. Every strike was planned. Sir, one officer whispered, we are winning. Cale did not react. This is not victory, he said. This is a lesson. On the screen, another alien ship exploded. Fire spread through space. Debris floated in silence. The aliens tried to regroup, but it was too late. The damage was done. Cale raised his hand. Pull back, he ordered. The officers looked surprised. Sir, we can finish them. Cale shook his head. No, he said. Not yet. The fleet obeyed instantly. Human ships vanished back into the darkness. The battle ended as quickly as it started. The alien fleet was left broken, confused, afraid. They had never faced an enemy like this. An enemy that did not shout, did not rush, did not make mistakes. Back on Earth, people watched the news in shock. Human ships had attacked and won. But something felt different. This was not the same humanity. This was something else, something colder, something more dangerous. Far away, Cale stood alone again. The room was dark. Stars reflected in his eyes. An officer entered slowly. Sir, the aliens are sending signals. Cale did not turn. What kind of signals? He asked. The officer hesitated. They are trying to understand us. Cale closed his eyes for a moment. Then he spoke. Good, he said. His voice was calm, but heavy. Now they will learn. He opened his eyes again. Cold, sharp, final. Humans do not start wars, Cale said quietly. A long pause followed. Then, but we always finish them. The stars no longer felt quiet. War had begun. Across the dark space near Earth, broken alien ships drifted slowly. Some still burned. Others were just empty metal, silent and dead. The first battle was over, but it was only the beginning. Inside the alien flagship, chaos spread. Strange voices echoed through their halls. Their movements were no longer calm. Screens flashed with damage reports. Entire sections of their fleet were gone. They did not understand how. one of their commanders asked. They are weak, another said. They should not be able to do this. But the truth was clear. Humans were not weak. They were different. Back on Kale's warship, everything was under control. The command room was quiet. Officers moved with focus. No one wasted time. Every action had purpose. Kale stood still, watching the battlefield. Report, he said. A senior officer stepped forward. Enemy lost 12 major ships, many more damaged. They are trying to regroup? Kale nodded slightly. They will change their strategy, he said. They will stop waiting. Another officer spoke. Sir, we are detecting new signals. More alien fleets are coming. The room grew tense. How many? Someone asked. The answer came slowly. A lot. Large red marks filled the screen. More ships than before. Bigger, stronger. The aliens were done playing. They were preparing for full war. Kale looked at the screen. No fear. No surprise. Only focus. Good, he said. The officers looked at him, confused. Good, one asked. Kale turned to them. Now they are taking us seriously. He stepped closer to the control panel. Send orders, he said. Phase 2 begins. Across human space, hidden fleets moved again. Warships came out from asteroid fields, from behind moons, from deep shadows where no one had seen them before. This was not just a defense. This was a plan, a long one. Back near Earth, the alien reinforcements arrived. Massive ships filled the sky. Their size blocked the stars. Their weapons powered up. This time, they attacked first. Bright beams of energy cut through space. Explosions lit up the darkness. Human defense stations were hit. Several ships were destroyed in seconds. The aliens pushed forward fast and aggressive. They are advancing. An officer shouted on Kale's ship. Kale watched carefully. Let them, he said. The officers hesitated. Sir, they are getting closer to Earth. I know, Kale replied calmly. Another officer stepped forward. We need to stop them now. Kale shook his head. Not yet. The tension in the room grew. People did not understand. Why wait? Why risk Earth? But Kale saw something they did not. He was not just watching the battle. He was studying it. Every move, every mistake. The alien fleet pushed deeper. They believed they were winning now. Human ships fell back slowly, retreating, breaking formation, looking weak. The aliens followed without thinking. That was the mistake. Kale's eyes sharpened. Now, he said. Suddenly, everything changed. Hidden human fleets appeared from all sides. Above, below, behind, thousands of ships. Fast, silent, deadly. The aliens were surrounded. Before they could react, the attack began. Human ships moved like lightning. Precise strikes hit key targets. Command ships, weapon cores, engine systems. One by one, alien ships started to fall. Explosions filled space. Fire spread in every direction. The aliens tried to fight back, but it was too late. They had walked into a trap. On Kale's ship, the officers watched in shock. Perfect timing. Perfect execution. Sir, one whispered. This was planned from the start. Kale did not answer. His eyes stayed on the battlefield. This is war, he said quietly. On the screen, a massive alien ship tried to escape. Kale pointed at it. Target that ship, he ordered. Yes, sir. A group of human fighters moved instantly. They flew straight toward the giant ship, dodging fire, moving fast. Then direct hit. The ship exploded in a massive flash. The shockwave spread across space. For a moment, everything was bright. Then darkness returned. Silence followed. The alien fleet was breaking. Ships tried to run. Others lost control. Their perfect formation was gone. Their confidence was gone. Only fear remained. Back inside the alien flagship, their leader watched. For the first time, it understood something. This enemy was not like others. This enemy learned, adapted, hunted, hunted, hunted. Back on Kale's ship, an officer spoke again. Sir, the enemy is retreating. Kale nodded. Let them go, he said. The officer looked surprised. Let them go? Yes, Kale said. A pause. They will return. The room became quiet. Everyone understood. This war was not over, not even close. Kale turned away from the screen. Prepare all fleets, he ordered. His voice was calm, but heavy. This was only the beginning. He stopped for a moment, then added, and next time we do not hold back. The war did not slow down, it grew. Across space, more battles began, more ships burned, more lives were lost. The aliens returned stronger, but so did the humans. This time, there was no waiting, no testing, only war. Near the edge of the solar system, a new battle started. The alien fleet moved in perfect lines. Their ships were larger now, heavier, built for destruction. They did not hesitate. They attacked everything: human stations, supply lines, even empty outposts. They wanted to break human spirit. But humans did not break. They changed. On Kale's command ship, the mood was different now. Colder, sharper. No one talked about peace anymore. Only victory. "Report," Kale said. A commander answered quickly. "Enemy forces increased by 40%. They are using new weapons, stronger shields." Kale nodded. "And their weakness?" he asked. "Number shields?" he asked. The room paused. Then another officer spoke. "They still follow patterns. They do not change fast." Kale gave a small nod. "Good," he said. He stepped forward. "Then we will change faster." Orders moved across every human fleet. New tactics, new formations, new weapons. Humans did not fight the same way twice. Each battle was different, each attack unexpected. The aliens began to struggle. Their systems could not keep up. Their leaders could not understand. "Why do they change so much?" one alien commander asked. "They fight without logic," another replied. But they were wrong. There was logic. Human logic, unpredictable, creative, dangerous. Back in battle, human ships moved in strange patterns. Some attacked directly. Others disappeared, then returned from behind. Small ships targeted big ones. Big ships protected small ones. Everything worked together, like one mind, one purpose. The aliens tried to adapt, but they were always one step behind. On Kale's ship, a new report came in. "Sir, we intercepted enemy data." Kale looked up. "Show me." The screen changed. Alien records appeared. Battle logs. Analysis. Fear. They were studying humans now, trying to understand them. Kale watched silently. "They are learning," an officer said. "Yes," Kale replied. A pause. "But not fast enough." Another message came in. "Sir, enemy forces are pulling back again." Kale crossed his arms. "They are not retreating," he said. "They are thinking." The officers stayed quiet. They trusted him now. They had seen his plans work again and again. Kale looked at the stars. "They will try something new," he continued. "Something bigger." As if answering his words, an alert sounded. "Warning, massive energy buildup detected." The room went tense. "Source?" Kale asked. The answer came quickly. "Enemy superweapon." The screen zoomed out. Far in the distance, a giant alien structure appeared, larger than any ship, covered in glowing energy. "Charging." "What is that?" an officer whispered. Kale's eyes narrowed. "A message," he said. Seconds later, the weapon fired. A beam of pure energy cut through space. Fast, bright, impossible to stop. It hit a human colony. In one moment, the colony was gone. No explosion, no fire, just erased. Silence filled the command room. Even the strongest officers felt it. That was not war. That was destruction. "Sir," one officer said slowly. "Millions gone." Kale did not move. His face did not change, but his eyes, they grew colder, much colder. "They want fear," Kale said quietly. The room stayed silent. "They think this will break us." He turned toward his officers. "They are wrong." His voice was calm, but heavy, stronger than before. "Send this message to all fleets," he ordered. The officers prepared to record. Kale spoke slowly, clearly. "Humans do not forget." A pause. "Humans do not forget this." Another pause. "From this moment, there is no limit." The words spread across human space. Every ship received them. Every soldier heard them. And something changed. Not fear, not anger. Something deeper. Not anger. Something colder. Back near the alien superweapon, human ships began to gather. Not thousands, tens of thousands. All moving toward one target, one purpose. On Kale's ship, the final order came. "Prepare full assault," he said. The officers responded instantly. "Yes, sir." Kale looked at the distant weapon. His voice dropped to a whisper. "This ends now." Far away, the alien leaders watched the human fleets approach. For the first time, they felt it. Not confusion, not surprise. Fear, real fear. Because they finally understood the truth. They had not started a war with a weak species. They had started a war with humans. And now, the humans were done holding back. Space was no longer dark. It burned. Thousands of human warships moved together, their engines glowing like fire across the stars. They did not hide anymore. They did not wait. They were coming, all of them. Their target was clear: the alien superweapon, the same weapon that had erased an entire human colony in seconds. On Kale's command ship, the air felt heavy. No one spoke unless needed. Every person knew this battle would decide everything. "Distance to target?" Kale asked. "Closing fast, sir," an officer replied. "Enemy defenses are active." The main screen showed the alien weapon. It was massive, larger than a city, covered in layers of armor and energy shields. Around it, hundreds of alien warships formed a protective wall. They were ready this time. They would not be surprised again. Kale stepped forward. "Begin assault," he said. "No hesitation, no hesitation, no fear." The human fleet attacked. Fast, hard, precise. Missiles filled space like a storm. Energy beams cut through the darkness. Explosions lit up the battlefield. The alien defense line held at first. Their ships fired back with full power. Several human ships were destroyed, but the fleet did not slow down. They kept moving, kept pushing. "Left flank taking heavy damage," an officer shouted. "Hold formation," Kale replied calmly. Another officer spoke. "Enemy shields are too strong." Kale replied calmly. Another officer spoke. "Enemy shields are too strong." Kale watched closely. Every movement. "Focus fire on one point," he ordered. "Break their line." The command spread instantly. Hundreds of human ships turned toward a single target. One alien battleship. All weapons fired at once. The shields shook, cracked, then broke. The ship exploded. A gap opened in the defense. "That's it," an officer yelled. "Push through." Human ships rushed forward, through fire, through debris, through chaos. They did not stop. The path to the superweapon was open. But the aliens were not finished. More ships moved in. Bigger ships. Stronger ones. They attacked with everything they had. The battle became brutal, close, messy. Ships crashed into each other. Fighters dodged through explosions. Pilots made impossible moves. Every second mattered. On Kale's ship, alarms sounded. "Sir, we are taking direct fire." The ship shook violently. Lights flickered. "Shields at 60%. Kale remained still. "Stay on course," he said. "But sir, that is an order." The crew obeyed. The command ship moved forward, straight toward the superweapon. Closer, closer. On the screen, the weapon began to glow again. "It's charging," an officer shouted. "Time to fire 3 minutes." If it fired again, more worlds would be gone. Kale's eyes locked on the target. "Prepare strike team," he said. The room went silent. "Strike team," someone asked. Kale nodded. "We are not destroying it from outside," he said. "We are ending it from within." A dangerous plan. Almost impossible. But no one argued. They trusted him. Elite soldiers prepared quickly. Boarding ships launched. Small, fast, hard to detect. They moved through the battle, avoiding fire, heading straight for the weapon. "Boarding teams approaching target," an officer reported. Inside the alien superweapon, alarms echoed. The aliens were not ready for this. Human soldiers broke through outer defenses. Fighting began inside. Close combat. Fast, brutal. Room by room, step by step. They pushed forward. Back on Kale's ship, 2 minutes to enemy firing. Someone shouted. Kale did not move. "Status of strike team," he asked. "Still advancing." Seconds felt like hours. Then, "Sir." They reached the core. The room froze. "Can they stop it?" an officer whispered. No answer, only silence. Then, a signal came through. Weak, broken, but clear. "Charge, set, set." A pause. For Earth, Kale closed his eyes for 1 second. Then, the super weapon exploded. A massive wave of light spread across space. Alien ships were thrown back. Systems failed. The battlefield went silent, just for a moment. Then, cheers filled the command room. "They did it. It's gone. We destroyed it." But Kale did not celebrate. He watched the screen. The enemy fleet was breaking again, running, falling apart. This was the moment, the final moment. Kale spoke one last command. "Advance." His voice was quiet, but unstoppable. End this war. And the human fleet moved forward. Like a storm that could not be stopped, the battle was over. But the war was not. What remained of the alien fleet was broken. Ships drifted without control. Some tried to run. Others stayed still as if they had lost the will to fight. The great superweapon was gone, destroyed. And with it, the aliens' confidence. Human ships surrounded them from every side. No escape, no victory, only silence. On Kale's command ship, the crew waited. No one spoke. They all looked at him, waiting for the final order. Kale stood still, watching the broken enemy. His face showed nothing. But inside, something had changed. An officer stepped forward. "Sir, the enemy is sending signals." Kale did not turn. "What kind of signals?" he asked. The officer hesitated. "Surrender requests." The room became very quiet. After everything, after the colony, after Elias, now they wanted peace. Kale slowly turned to face the screen. "Put it through," he said. A strange image appeared. The alien leader, the same one who had stood before Elias, the same one who had given the order. Now, it looked different, not powerful, not proud, afraid. Its voice came through, broken and unclear. "We request cease war." The words were weak, uncertain. Kale stepped closer, his eyes locked on the alien. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Kale said one word, "Why?" The alien leader paused. "We misjudged your kind." Kale's expression did not change. "You killed a man who came in peace," he said. Silence. "He offered you a future," Kale continued. "You answered with death." The alien had no reply. It only lowered its head. Kale's voice became colder. "You destroyed millions of lives." Another pause. "And now you ask for peace?" The alien leader spoke again. "We will accept your terms." The room waited. This was it, the end of the war. Kale closed his eyes for a moment. In the silence, he saw something else. Not the battlefield, not the enemy, but a memory. Elias, standing with a soft smile. "Peace is always worth the risk." Kale opened his eyes again. The cold anger was still there, but something else was there too. Something deeper. He looked at the alien leader. "You will surrender all weapons," Kale said. "You will never build a weapon like that again." The alien nodded quickly. "Yes, we agree," Kale continued. "You will answer for what you have done." A pause. "You will remember this war." The alien lowered its head. "We agree." The room stayed silent. Everyone waited for the final words. Kale looked at the screen one last time, then he spoke. "The war is over." A long breath passed through the room. Relief, exhaustion, but also something heavy. Because victory did not feel like victory. The screen went dark. The alien fleet powered down, one by one. The war had ended. Days later, space was quiet again, but it was not the same silence. This silence had meaning. Human ships returned home, damaged, tired, but alive. Across Earth, people looked up at the stars again, this time not with fear, but with understanding. They had seen what humans could become, and what they must never forget. On a quiet station above Earth, Kale stood alone. The war was over. His mission was complete, but he did not feel peace, only emptiness. He looked at a small screen in front of him, a recording, Elias's last message, frozen at the final moment. Kale watched it in silence. Then he spoke softly. "You were right." His voice was calm, but heavy. "Peace matters." A long pause, "But not everyone deserves it." He turned off the screen. Outside, the stars shined quietly. For a moment, Kale just stood there. Then he gave his final order. "Rebuild," he said. "Not destroy, not conquer. Rebuild." Because that was the difference. That was what made humans human. They could fight, they could win, but they could also choose what came after. Kale took one last look at the stars, and somewhere, deep inside, he felt it. Not victory, not revenge, but something close to peace. Because his brother's voice still lived on, not in war, but in choice. And as humanity moved forward, one truth remained clear. Humans will always offer peace. A pause, soft, final, but they will never beg for it. The stars above Earth were calm, too calm. Then suddenly, they changed. A massive alien fleet appeared in orbit. No warning,